Most women are drowning, and I mean drowning in debt. You would think, like, oh, okay, yeah, what are you talking about? Like poor women and, no, I'm not just talking about, well, them too, obviously, right? I'm talking about even women with good jobs, right? I've dated a number of these women that have had good corporate jobs who are making six figures, well over six figures, still in debt. It makes no sense to me. I'm like, how can you still be in debt? You make 150 grand a year. Where do you spend your money? And they're always like, I didn't know that many goes, right? Well, we already know, like, you make that much money, half of it, say close to half is going to taxes, right? This is why you need to switch to entrepreneurship. If you are making that type of money, at least when you have a business, you have a lot of expenses you could write off and, you take trips, you combine it with work, you could write that off. There's just a lot more leeway, put it that way. Whereas when you have a job, just like when I had my corporate job, man, you have to pay the full taxes on that. And it sucks, right? It sucks. It's like paying full capital gains tax. But regardless, most women don't have like two 20s to rub together, even if they are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's just mind blowing how women can have that much debt, be that irresponsible, making that type of money. If you look at the statistics on this, I mean, most women, they hold much of the debt in society, right? Especially when it comes to college, right? I think women hold, I believe it's like 64% of college debt, right? From going to school and all that. And that's another thing. Women are graduating at much higher rates than men are graduating these days. Yet we still have more money. We are still better with our money, right? We just are, and we don't even need to have that much money. I know guys who just work like very menial jobs that save and build up a nest egg. My dad was one of them. My dad was like blue collar. By the way, I come from an entire family of blue collar workers. I don't think we've ever had a white collar worker until I entered the corporate world, till I got my corporate job working for the Fortune 100. I felt kind of out of place at first being there, right? But then I realized I'm just good at sales. I'm good at like networking, and I'm just good at communicating. YouTube's pretty easy for me to like just transcend value to you guys. I was like this in my corporate job. I was just able to relate to people. I was able to have conversations with people and help them. And that's really what you do at the end of the day if you want to be successful, right? Just be a good communicator if you want to have like a good white collar job. If you're not good with that, then you could do something with your hands. Right, just like everybody in my family. Everybody is basically blue collar or in the military. I was actually the first not to join the military because my dad did not want me to, right? After what happened to his eye, he lost his eye. That's a whole story during the time of the Vietnam War. Not to get off track, man. Guys are just better with money and women aren't. But you could be working as a janitor. You'll have more money than some C-level female executive, right? Because she spends money like a drunken sailor. She spends money like water. And because I've dated some of these chicks, I kind of see how they spend their money. And I'm kind of like, should you do that? Maybe you shouldn't spend it on that. That's kind of pricey or whatnot. It's like, oh, it's fine. And I'm already here. They don't think about it. Whereas men, we really value money and how far a dollar goes, right? Even me. I'm a self-made multimillionaire now. I still look at price tags. I'm still conscious of how I spend my money. Sure, I do buy more things that I want. I'll admit that. I bought the Lamborghini. Even that, I wasn't sure I wanted to buy, right? Even the Lamborghini, I could have bought it 5 years earlier, and I didn't. I was like, I'm going to hold off on that. Even the DeLorean, I didn't want to buy that at the time. I bought it because I know cars very well. I know when they're going to go up in value. So I bought the DeLorean, and it doubled in value 2 years later. Same thing with this car. This car, shockingly, I'm surprised. It's starting to slowly go up in value. We know how to save, and we know how to invest. Okay, that's another thing. Most guys are at least aware of the stock market, if not invested in the stock market, right? Me as well. I invest in the stock market. I'm no wizard. I'm no expert, but I do share my stock picks with you. And my portfolio has been skyrocketing lately, right? Obviously, there's a lot of volatility with that, but it's been doing well. And when it comes to stock, I don't look at girls I'm dating to talk to about the stocks, even though I've tried to. They're kind of like, oh yeah, sounds good, sounds good. Like trying to talk about Palantir or Rigetti software, and they'll be like, huh? Oh yeah, NVIDIA. What? What's that? Right? And these are women who are making good money. It's like, All right. I know I don't want to bore you to death. As somebody who's a grown adult, you should understand these companies. You should understand the basics of investing your money. Even if you don't touch the stock market, you know that real estate appreciates, right? Maybe I should buy some real estate. If not, hey, for the last few years, interest rates have been at 5%, right? Park your money in a high yield bank account where you're earning 5%. And I've known a number of people, including women, especially women who have like at least some savings. Instead of leaving your money at Chase Bank where you're getting 0.0005% yield, why don't you move it to this bank? I have my money in this bank, right? It's getting 5.3%, at least at that time. It's not anymore. It's like 4 point something right now, but it was making 5.3% for over a year. And I'm like, put your money in there. You got about 10 grand. That's, yeah, it's a good little chunk of change. No, no, it's okay. I'll just leave in Chase. It's just easier to get. It's just easier if I need my ATM, my debit. And I'm like, see, these are the reasons why you're always broke. These are the reasons why you never have money. Besides the fact that they're always on Amazon, they're always buying crap they don't need. They're just looking for excuses to spend their money. In the back of their heads, they feel like they're always going to be saved. They're always going to be rescued. Somebody's always going to throw them a lifeline. And you know what? Sadly, they're right. Someone is always going to come along and save them, whether it's a simp, whether it's the government, whether it's a family member, somebody's always going to come to the rescue of a poor, helpless damsel in distress. They act like they're strong and empowered, then they play the Babe of the Woods routine when they are needing help. But if you go to any investing class, real estate seminar, a stock webinar, you're not going to see women in there. You might see one or two, and they're generally going to be harpies, right? These are basically women that people ignore. They're not attractive. They're not getting guys to fund them, their hot girl summer or their lifestyle or anything like that. When it comes to making money and growing money, men are just better at that. Okay? The statistics will prove it. I would say do a Google search, but I did a Google search before this video, and it made all sorts of excuses for why women are in debt. Like, because women are marginalized, especially women of color, there's a pay gap. And then they wonder why we treat them like babies. We treat them like children, right? Oh, stop infantilizing me. It's like, well, because you are infantilized. You act like an infant. You're treated like an infant. You act like you're disabled or something. It's like, no, you're a grown adult. Act like one. I mean, even Google, that was part of their AI result, man. This is why you can't even trust AI when it comes to that type of stuff. It's still woke. You could look in your history of women you've dated. How many of those women had their finances in order? How many of those women were investing their money? How many of those women owned assets? Right? Instead of liabilities, right? I'm not talking about cars. That's another thing. These women will lease cars and buy cars they can't afford. What have I told you guys? If you cannot buy it twice, you cannot afford it. Do not buy it. They just don't value money. You guys know, like when I was homeless, about a little over 10 years ago now, I did this video on my channel. I was broke. I was homeless. I moved to LA to try to launch my pickup business. Desperately, I was living in the 92 Jeep Cherokee Laredo with cash and gizmo. My business was starting to make some money, but I saved every one of those dollars and I reinvested it in my business. I ate at Jack in the Box. I was getting like the 99-cent tacos. I was doing all that stuff. I mean, I remember I'd look at the menu and I'd be like, off Laurel Canyon, I'd be like, okay, I really want to get that, what is that burger? The sourdough burger? Oh, so good, right? I want to get the sourdough burger. Sourdough burger, though, at that time, it was like $5. I'm like, $5, man. So I would think like that. I'm like, you know what? Nah, I need to drop some weight. I will get the sourdough burger. I just make excuses. Even now, like, as I have money, I will get the sourdough burger if I want it. I've been losing weight recently, by the way, if you've noticed. But for a while there, I was putting on weight because I was getting the food I wanted. I was like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that. Right. Then I started noticing my videos of like, oh, fortunately, I could take off weight easily. It's not a problem for me. I just go keto for a little while and weight comes right off. I need to do a separate coaching video about that as well. Even though I eat in the restaurants I want to, I stay in nice hotels now. I stay in the hotels I want to. I do splurge there because I really believe that, you know, I've worked very hard and I want to treat myself every once in a while. Right. So I do. But I also have no problem sleeping in my car. So I take a lot of trips to Vegas. I can make it all the way. It's not a big deal. If I'm coming all the way from San Francisco, for example, and I'm not in LA where it's only 3 hours, I come from SF, that's an 8-hour drive. And I've got my dogs. I need a nap at some point. I'm not going to get a hotel, especially if I'm pulling over at 2 in the morning, right? If it's past midnight. I'm just going to sleep in the car. I'll wake up at 6, 7. I don't mind, right? I bought like this big, gigantic spaceship, like a new minivan. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's really nice, by the way. I've filmed some videos in there. Leather interior, white leather. I know people don't like that, but it's so hot, like where I travel. I'm tired of burning my legs on the seats, like having a interior with black like this. I couldn't choose with this car, obviously, because this is more harder to find. However, with my minivan, obviously, I will sleep in that car. And I bought that car for that purpose. I'm like, hey, I take lots of road trips because I like to take my animals with me. I don't really like flying these days as much because I don't trust pilots, especially a lot of female pilots, especially with a lot of accidents that's been happening these days. And I should do a separate coaching video on that. Regardless, I like to sleep in the car at times. And I noticed the women I've dated, including my last girl, she was like, no, I want to get a room. I want to get a hotel. It's almost more of a hassle, besides being a waste of money, to check into a hotel at like 1 or 2 in the morning, like in the middle of nowhere, get all the dogs up there, get all my stuff up there. It's just not worth it to me. I'm like, I don't mind roughing it and sleeping in the car. But a lot of these women won't do that, right? They'll go get the hotel, they'll pay for it. But it's just that mindset. It's that mentality is what keeps women poor. It keeps women broke. They don't know how to save. They don't know how to invest. They spend too much. They spend more than they make. Things like that. They lease cars that they can't afford. They buy jewelry. They go shopping. They buy shoes that they never wear. How many times have you gone in your girl's closet and you see clothes hanging in there with the tag still attached? And it's like clothes that have been out of fashion for the last 10 years. You never even wore that. Right? I was dated this girl, my ex from 2000. I kid you not. She was living with her parents and there was all this boxed furniture in her parents' garage. And apparently sitting there for 5 years. And I'm like, is this your stuff? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, what is this? And then she's like, oh, it's like couches and sofas. And I'm like, why did you buy all that? She goes, oh, it was on sale. And I was like, okay, when the day comes when I move out, I'm going to have this stuff. Lo and behold, when she finally did move out, that furniture and everything was totally out of style. And she just went and bought new furniture and threw that away. But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, women have this mentality. They just are not good with money and they're drowning in debt. And it's not even surprising anymore. But as always, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. And if you want to support my work, get in my monthly online program below. Right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets coaching lessons from me. So take advantage of it, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.